Class, in this video, we learn about rule number 3 in the basic rules of anti-differentiation. And rule number 3 is at the top of page 71 of your note packet. It has to deal with the indefinite integral of a constant multiple function. So in the rectangle, right, you can write if k is a constant, right, and the constant is just any real number from the real number line. If k is a constant, a real number, then the antiderivative of k times x to the n with respect to x, we can bring this constant, k is just a multiplicative constant. We can bring this k out in front of the integral sign, and we have k times the antiderivative of x to the n with respect to x. So k is a multiplicative constant. We can just bring it out in front of the integral sign and multiply it by the antiderivative of x to the n with respect to x. So in example 1, we have the antiderivative of 5 times x squared with respect to x. So k is equal to 5 in this case. And so in finding the antiderivative of 5x squared, we can bring the 5 out in front of the integral sign. We have 5 times the antiderivative of x squared with respect to x. Well, the antiderivative of x squared is x cubed over 3. And so this is equal to 5 times x cubed over 3. And then we add our arbitrary constant c. And 5 divided by 3 is the same as 5/3. And so this simplifies to 5/3 times x cubed plus c. In the second example, we've got to find the antiderivative of 2x to the 7th power. So 2 is a multiplicative constant. It can be pulled out in front of the integral sign. So this is equal to 2 times the antiderivative of x to the 7th with respect to x. Well, the antiderivative of x to the 7th is x to the 8th over 8. Right? You add 1 to the exponent, divide by the new exponent. And so we have 2 times x to the 8th over 8 plus the arbitrary constant c. And 2 over 8 simplifies to 1/4. So this simplifies to 1/4 times x to the 8th plus c. In example 3, we have to do some work before we find the antiderivative. We got to find the antiderivative of 5 over x to the 9th power. Well, the 5, right? You're multiplying, so this can be written as 5 times 1 over x to the 9th. And so the 5 is a multiplicative constant. It can be brought out in front of the integral sign. And so k is equal to 5 in this case. And 1 over x to the 9th is the same as x to the minus 9th power. And so k is equal to 5 in this case, okay? And so the antiderivative of x to the minus 9th, right? You add 1 to the exponent, you get -8. And then you divide by -8. And then we add the arbitrary constant c. Well, 5 divided by -8 is the same as -5/8. And we have times x to the -8 plus the arbitrary constant c. And we're done. Okay? So the antiderivative of 5 over x to the 9th with respect to x is equal to -5/8 x to the -8th power plus the arbitrary constant c.